the war's over. I hadn't been in combat. I hadn't even been at sea, except to go in a landing craft or something once, but I wouldn't.
Well, they put you where
I was a dry land sailor.
They needed you there.
You
were the only one who could do it, Papa.
Well, I was very, I wanted to be with, that's why I went to the Marines. I thought it'd be fun to see what you could do. But anyhow, I look back and it's easy to say that now. You could have been killed. As I told you, I have 2 or 3 of my buddies that didn't make it. But when the war was over, it was just like somebody closed the door.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they just closed. There were 4 artists, and we had big storage areas of paint. We were doing the posters for anti-VD or whatever the hell it was for the Naval District, one of the biggest naval districts in the country.
Yeah.
And they just closed everything down, and you got out on a point system. Well, from the day the war stopped, I don't think they asked us to do a damn thing. Dick Dugan, who was my age, they called us the Bobsy Twins.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And the other 2 guys were older commercial artists that had been in the Navy for 3.5 years. They got out. And so the Captain Perry, who was the commandant of Camp Perry, would call Rappaport, our commanding officer that stole damn near everything. He stole
I remember that. He
stole a complete sawmill from the Navy.
Yes.
Had it trucked up to his Army-Navy store to be in New Jersey.
Sold it?
I would go with him. He would write fake orders. The war's over.
What?
Norfolk Navy Yard, Newport News, they had hundreds of vessels. We had over 100 aircraft carriers at the end of the war, for God's sake. The rest of the world had maybe 10.
Yeah.
They had, God knows how many destroyers.
Yeah.
They had them parked in the Potomac, in the Patuxent River, all over. But they would come into Norfolk. They stripped a lot of them and put them for scrap metal. But what they did was take all the foul weather gear. If you were in a destroyer going to the Arctic or someplace where many of them went,
you had to have good gear.
A beautiful fur-lined coat, hood, and everything. And they just piled them up on the wharves. Big pile
they burned
of crap
it, didn't they?
As big as this room. They take a can of aviation fuel, throw it on, and light that baby and burn them up. And they were crying in Europe. Every place, Europe was pretty level, Germany, and they were asking people for donations.
Yeah.
I used to look and say, my God, they're destroying hundreds of good clothing.
Why, did he ever get in trouble for that? Did he go to jail or?
Oh, this was the U.S. Navy doing it.
Oh, I thought it was just that one.
No.
Just the.
The thing that was, I wanted to tell you the story about is, we go down one day and he would write
the fake
orders. He was a lieutenant.
Yeah.
He had already stolen a Jeep. He was on a transport in the Pacific during the war, taking troops to various battle places and so forth. They came back to Hawaii, the war's over. He's the captain of a Liberty ship with all. They were docked in Honolulu or Hawaii, and some MPs came up and parked their Jeep right beside the wharf where his ship was.
Mm-hmm.
And they went off someplace. He just had guys operating the booms to bring a boom around, lower, pick up the Jeep. It went into the hold, and that was it. The MDPs came back and thought, what's happened to our Jeep? Never
Jeep.
thought to look at the damn in the ship. So he came, and he became the officer in charge of we 4 artists. The one we had been discharged.
Mm-hmm.
Kaplowitz was on his way. He was only there for 6 months, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And he was taking everything he could get.
Yeah.
And we go down this one day, there's a beautiful pile, and there was a whole uniform lined with fur. It had to be for some admiral or something. It was beautiful. Boy, he was on that like a crazy. He hung it up. We had a Quonset hut for his office.
Mm-hmm.
He hung it up on the wall on a coat hanger. When he came in the next morning, it wasn't there.
Someone stole it.
And it was just like the Strawberry movie. Do you remember that movie?
I don't
Where
think
somebody had taken the strawberries and the captain didn't want to know where the hell the strawberries were.
Oh, no, I didn't
and he
see that.
brought the whole ship in and was, virtually going to have them all killed if they didn't produce the strawberries. And Rappaport called all of us in. Where the hell was this? Somebody had to take it. And he spent days trying to get the person that took it. And we had Danny Thompson. Danny had been he was Ted Williams' roommate, the great football player, baseball player.
Yeah, yeah.
They were both in the Navy. They were going to be flyers.
Yeah.
Danny was washed out. But he was famous because he was Ted
The
Williams'
brother.
roommate.
Or roommate.
Well, I didn't know it at the time. Years later, when we're at the Jackson lab, Danny was in New Harbor, Maine.
Mm-hmm.
That's where he lived. And we had stayed in touch. Fred even has been up there talking to his son.
Oh, neat. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess we talked to him, or letters between us, and he said, geez, on your way home, stop. I own Thompson House and Cottages, and I'll be glad. You'd love to see New Harbor. So we went, Mary. I think all the kids were born. Fred was there, 4 of us. We went, great dinner, and we're talking, and he was the select man, like the mayor, but New Harbor is mostly lobstermen.
Mm-hmm.
He had a lobsterman boat and everything, so he did lobstering. We were just finishing the meal, and he said, hey, Fritz, come with me. We go down, he opens the door to his lobster shack, and I look up, and here's the foul weather gear.
Yeah.
Danny had stolen it. Nobody would have thought of Danny. But Danny said, the minute I saw it, I knew if I got through the war, I was going to be back on the
lobster boat.
My own lobster boat with this. So I went and I talked to the guys at the post office. We got a box all set up. And about midnight, they never locked the door of the Quonset. He went in, I got this. He said, it was gone off the base by the time Rappaport even realized it was gone. And I don't think any of us ever thought, for God's sake, he would never steal anything.
Why did he decide to steal it instead of seeing if he could buy it from Rappaport? Or
well,
he didn't think
he could get it free. Rappaport, Danny was, I think I even outranked Danny. He was maybe You could have been a second-class petty officer.
Mm-hmm. That is too funny, Papa. So we just went in and stole it, and
And we were, the camp was almost the whole width of the peninsula of York, and what's the other river? I can't remember. Williamsburg is here. And it was the
Potomac?
the Peninsula Campaign during the Civil War. And I got there and I wondered what all these trenches are. And they were the trenches from the Civil War.
Wow.
Now they'd been grown over, but the camp was built in this damn woods. That's where I got the hawks. I mean, you just got off of the parade ground and you were in a nice pine forest. You could have been not even close to a military base.
Yeah.
But it was part of the military base.
Wow.
Oh, gosh. I never went. Most of the guys, if they had a weekend, they went off and got drunk in Richmond or someplace. And I wasn't into that. I spent the time painting birds and catching hawks. And I wish we could find it. I was telling, I guess, your hubby today, when we were talking about the red-tails, about the red-tailed hawk. And I had a red-tailed hawk, which is one of our largest soaring buteo. They're buteos. Their wings spread about like this.
A buteo is the type of bird?
It's it's not the family, it's a subgroup of a family. Like accipiters there are 3 different kinds, which they all are closely related, but one of them is this long, the next one's that long, and so forth. Same way with buteos, red shoulders, broad wings, red tails, rough-legged hawks, so forth.
Wow.
And what was I going to tell you about it?
The hawk.
Yeah. So I got the red tail. First of all, when I was assigned, instead of going to Gulfport, where they were going to send me, I was assigned to Camp Perry. And it looked like I was going to be there. I was an artist. And I remember going home, getting a 72-hour leave. And Sheeny had found the guy that fell out of the tree with me. He was now able to climb. He had found a Cooper's hawk nest. I got a nice female Cooper's it was an IS, a young one, about 2/3 grown. I had it in a box on the train going back to Williamsburg. And I don't know what I did, but lifted the lid and the hawk was out like crazy, running down the aisle of this train going, and ran in and grabbed some leg with her talon. She screamed like she was being murdered. Boy, they almost ran me over.
Well, and I love that how you got sent to Camp Perry when she found you at the train station and she said,
well,